So, Taranjeet,
Yes, Shreya.
so we'll be taking questions later, and
Okay.
we'll ask the participants to raise hands, and we'll be taking questions post your session.
Sure, sure, sure.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Shreya Malik, representing Startup Incubation and Innovation Center, IIT Kanpur. I hope all the participants are settled in, and we can start with this session. We are pleased to welcome all to this insightful webinar on essentials of grant writing for biotechnology ignition grant. BIG is a flagship scheme of BIRAC to support early stage ideas with commercialization potential in areas of biotechnology and life sciences. SIC IIT Kanpur is a designated partner for the BIG scheme appointed by BIRAC since 2018, and we are extremely proud that BIRAC and IIT Kanpur have a very long-standing productive collaboration of more than a decade, with several programs being managed by IIT Kanpur. Since the call for applications for BIG 24th call has commenced on 15th April, we have planned this webinar to create awareness about the scheme, BIG scheme, and also about the application process. We are extremely pleased to have with us Ms. Taranjeet Kaur and Professor Amitabh Bandyopadhyay for this webinar for guiding the interested applicants. Thank you for joining us. To begin with, I'll introduce Ms. Taranjeet Kaur, who will be guiding us and providing a brief overview of the BIG scheme, as well as pointers for writing a good grant application. Taranjeet is working as a manager for entrepreneurship development and is also the program lead for BIG at BIRAC. She is leading BIRAC's efforts to promote and nurture entrepreneurship in northern eastern region of India. Taranjeet has been recognized as Young Emerging Leader by US Department of State through its International Visitor Leadership Program. Before joining BIRAC, she has worked for 4 years in Global Detection Program India, a joint effort to investigate outbreaks in India by CDC Atlanta and Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. With such a great expertise and experience, we are thankful to Taranjeet for joining us, and we request you to please guide the applications on BIG and also writing a good grant application. Over to you, Taranjeet.
Thank you so much, Shreya. Thank you for this wonderful introduction. And thank you, Professor Amitabh Bandyopadhyay, for extending the invitation to discuss about Biotechnology Ignition Grant Scheme. So just let me share the screen first and let me know if it's visible to you all.
Yeah.
Okay. On full screen mode?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So, well, I'm Taranjeet Kaur. I'm the manager for entrepreneurship development and a program lead for biotechnology ignition grant scheme at BIREC. It's been around 8 years now. I've been associated with BIREC and handling the big scheme. And I am actually very excited to delve into the intricacies of big program and share the best practices to submit a successful proposal in big scheme. But before we begin with the intricacies and specifics of big scheme, let's first understand about BIREC. Little bit of understanding, I think, is a must for everyone to know. What is BIREC and what do we do? So, BIRAC is Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council. It was set up by Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India in 2012 as a Section 8 and a not-for-profit company. So BIRAC actually acts as a central agency that empowers and strengthens the emerging biotech innovation ecosystem in India. For us, the term biotechnology is actually quite broad. It covers healthcare, life sciences, drug development, drug discovery, waste management, industrial biotechnology, agriculture, sanitation, everything that that you can think of. It's actually covered under biotechnology. And we actually understand the challenges that biotech sector has. It's very investment heavy. It has a very, very long gestation period. It's not like in any other IT company that you came up with an idea and in the next year you can come into the market. No, it's not like that. Around 8 to 10 years it takes for a biotech startup to, see the light of the day. And it also has a very low success rate. But once succeeded, it comes with very high reward. And BIRAC stands firmly behind the innovators as they navigate through these critical, challenges in their product development cycle. And how does we do it? So, since its inception, BIREC has taken various activities involving, like, providing high risk, providing financing, providing funding support to high risk projects, creating incubation spaces, supporting nascent ideas and early stage startups, and also engaging in policy advocacy efforts. So, in the 12 years, this is what we have done so far. The numbers are a little updated now. This slide, I think it's a little older one. So we have created incubation networks of around 95 incubation centers, supporting more than 9 lakh square feet of incubation space. We have reached out to more than 50 lakh students and entrepreneurs through these workshops, outreach activities, grant writing workshops, and various other events. We have assessed more than 28,000 proposals, and we have provided support to close to 5,000 startups and entrepreneurs. BIREC has committed a funding support of more than rupees 4,000 crores, including more than 2,500 crores by industry and other partners. We have, kind of created high skill jobs for around 35,000, people across country. We have forged more than 100 national and international partnerships, and we have created, we actually have supported the patent filing of around 1,300 patents by innovators with BIREC support. And also very important factor here that the funding support and other support that we provide, we have been, providing this very important, crucial support to startups that they can further raise follow-on funding. Around 6,000 of crores of funding, follow-on funding have been raised by startups supported by BIREC, and the number is around 150. So this is what we have done in 12 years of existence. And we have also supported the product development of around 800 products, and those are available in the market, and those products are listed on our Biotech Showcase e-portal. You can access all the information related to those products, and the support provided by BIREC is available on this website. So yes, how does BIREC do it? So this is how BIREC supports the whole value chain of product development cycle, starting from supporting idea curation to ideation to proof of concept to validation, then late stage validation and entering the market. So, and BIREC has also recognized the importance of early exposure of equity to startups and entrepreneurs. We have infuse such efforts such as seed funding and leap funding that provide early exposure to startups, and that critical exposure help those startups to attract investment, and they can fuel their growth and scale their operations effectively in future. So by offering resources such as funding, mentorship, equity infusion, we enable innovation to transform their vision into impactful product that benefit the society. BIREC also houses a project management unit for National Biopharma Mission, Grand Challenges India, BMGF, INSEPI, and we also have project development unit, project management unit for Make in India, for biotech sector. So this is how we do. And this is, this is how BIREC supports all the innovation ecosystem of the country. Now let's move our focus. Oh, sorry. And this is where, BIG support comes into picture at this particular stage at ideation to help them progress to proof of concept stage. Let's now shift our focus to Biotechnology Ignition Grant Program, one of BIREC's flagship initiative. So Biotechnology Ignition Grant is a flagship national level open competitive scheme of BIREC, which recognizes and invests in innovative ideas in biotech sector. It provides funding support of rupees 50 lakhs to entrepreneurs and young startups for progression from ideation to proof of concept stage. This scheme is implemented through our 8 mature Bionest Bioincubation centers. We announce the BIG call twice a year. The calendar is generally fixed 1st January and 1st July. But for this particular call, there was some pending approvals that delayed the announcement of this 24th call, and the 24th call is on now until 31st of May. So this picture actually shows who are eligible for BIG support. You can either apply as an individual entrepreneur or as a startup, but the startup age that is eligible should be less than 5 years of existence. And for individual entrepreneurs, the eligibility criteria is that you must be a graduate, no matter in what discipline. You can apply as an individual entrepreneur if you are graduated, if you're a researcher, a PhD student, a scientist, a faculty entrepreneur. So all are eligible to apply for BIG. And these are the areas that are supported under BIG. Drug and drug discovery, agriculture, devices and diagnostic, industrial biotechnology, secondary agriculture and waste management. We actually do not support research projects. So the project proposal that you submit must be a translational research kind of a proposal. So this is actually a typical distribution of big proposals that we receive. We receive, it's a very good figure here that we receive more than 50% of applications from tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and around 49% of applications are received from tier 1. And when we receive these applications, around 65% of applications are individual applications, and only 35% of applications are received from startups. But when they get the BIG grant, the number actually gets switched. The individual applications, individual entrepreneurs, they start their startup during the course of their BIG, and of late, almost every individual entrepreneur start their own startup either during the course of BIG project or after. We receive applications from women entrepreneurs. The number has now increased to 27%. As I mentioned, that the big scheme is actually ardently managed by our big partners. We have 8 BIG implementation partners spread across the country. IIT Kanpur, SRIC IIT Kanpur is one of our big partners since 2018. Correct me if I'm wrong, Shreya. Kudos to these partners, actually. They provide hand holding, and they actually create awareness about the scheme. They host outreach events. This is pre-BIG kind of support. Once you get the BIG grant, they provide extensive hand holding, may it be technical, business, or IP related or regulatory. They provide you opportunities for networking and platforms for showcasing your technology or product. They also provide, platforms for investor connects. So actually, this is a big partners efforts that big has actually become a big brand these days. And what actually a big partner has to offer, I think after my presentation, Professor Amitabh or Shreya will let you know what IIT Kanpur has in their kitty to, offer you. Then we also have around 95 incubation centers who are supported through our BioNest scheme and EUS scheme. So these incubation centers are also, helping the aspiring entrepreneurs in writing their big grant. And even after they get the grant, they are there to provide all kind of support that is needed by our BIG grantee. So, with this background about the scheme, I would just let you know what are the BIG highlights. Big scheme actually has been very successful in catalyzing the biotech entrepreneurship in the country. To create a large and growing pool of startups, we can easily make out the BIG impact with some of the figures that are mentioned here. We have received more than 12,000 application in 23 calls of BIG, and close to 1,000 grantees have been supported with BIG. 2,200 plus new companies have been formed by the individual entrepreneurs who, get the grant and started a new startup. And 150 plus ideas have been commercialized with the BIG support. More than 250 projects are led by women entrepreneurs. Through BIG, we have committed around 500 crores of funding support for BIG. Very important highlight of the program is the ability of big grantees to secure the follow-on funding especially through private sources, So, for instance, you can see here more than 2,000 crores of follow-on funding have been raised by around 100 of BIG startups. So, they have raised this funding through angel investors or HNIs or other private investors from the ecosystem. These are some of the shots of BIG product portfolio. I'll not get into it in detail. You can access our showcase e-portal. So let's now move ahead. What does it take to secure? Okay, just a very important highlight here. I'm sorry, I actually, because this is for the first time that BIREC and India Health Fund have also announced a co-funding opportunity through a big scheme. So BIREC and India Health Fund, they will equally contribute and support around 8 startups per year in the focused area of deep technology-based solution and technology platforms. And the priority areas for this particular co-funding opportunity would be tuberculosis, vector-borne diseases, antimicrobial resistance, and other neglected infectious diseases. So if you are working in these particular areas, you can avail this co-funding option as well. So the nitty-gritty of this, this co-funding partnership will be shared with you once you get the grant. So let's move ahead. What does it take to secure the BIG funding? So as it's a national level call, and if you can see the success rate that I mentioned, that we received around 12,000 application and around 1,000 proposals have been supported. So you can check there that the success rate is even less than 10%. So the evaluation process is very rigorous and it's multifaceted. Once the call is closed, all the proposals go for eligibility check for their legal, administrative, and technical eligibility. And all the eligible proposals are then reviewed online by subject matter experts. At least 5 experts review one proposal. Shortlisted proposal from this step then are progressed for face-to-face presentation before technical expert panel. And this technical expert panel comprises of around 7 to 10 experts from academics, industry and investment background. And these proposals are scored on the basis of 5 parameters. I'll also tell you about those parameters. And the final scoring cutoff is decided by expert selection committee at BIREC. which leads to the announcement of the big results. All the proposals that we receive under BIG are distributed theme-wise. So these are the 5 broad themes. So diagnostic, devices, industrial biotechnology, drugs and biosimilar, and agriculture. When assessing proposals, we actually look for these 5 key criteria: unmet need, value proposition, technical feasibility, team strength, and business perspective. So in unmet need, uh, we actually assess whether the idea offers a potential solution for an unmet need in the market or society. Regardless of the market size, it can be a big market or it can be a niche market area, uh, whether the solution has IP potential or not. Okay. In value proposition, we actually assess whether or not your proposed solution has edge over already existing solutions in the market. What are your value proposition over them? And have you mapped out the competitors or not? For technical feasibility, because BIG is for, ideation stage. So preliminary data requirement is not a mandatory condition for BIG, but if you are not able to substantiate what you are trying to bring here, your project will not qualify further. So either from, literature or any experiments done in India or outside, if you can claim that this is going to be technically feasible, then only you will be able to go through this step. Next is team strength. So BIG is open to individual and startups, but the proposed team, if you do not have a team right away, the proposed team, the mentor and advisors that you are, adding to your team strength would be also a very critical qualifier. And the last but not the least, commercialization potential. As I mentioned, that BIG doesn't provide support to R&D project per se. Your proposal must have commercialization potential, no matter howsoever technically strong your proposal is. If your proposal lacks business perspective, your application will not go through. So, yes, while submitting a proposal, these are some key points that you must remember. Read the guidelines thoroughly. If you have any question at any point, reach out to us, BIG team at BIREC, or your big partner. Get the clarity over what is not clear to you. Check your proposal is scheme fit or not. Get a clarity on technology readiness levels. At BIREC, you can, check uh, different TRL levels for different themes. We have detailed out all the thematic TRL levels on our website. Please go through that and measure what is the maturity of your core technology. We actually have different schemes for different TRL levels. BIG provides support to the, proposal that are actually TR1 or TR2 level. Beyond TRL4, BIG doesn't provide support to those proposals. Those proposals actually fall eligible for different schemes, SBIR. And we also have BIPP and CRS. So please check the technology readiness level of your proposal. Check if your proposal is scheme fit or not. Plan for your proposal. Do not just start writing whatever is asked in the proposal. Also use very simple language. No jargons are required. No high-tech vocabulary is required. Use simple language. Make everyone understand what you want to tell through your proposal. So these are the key components of a proposal. A title. I'll go through individual components in my next slide. A clear problem statement, share your vision, highlight on technological novelty, USP, IP related, team, and objective and milestone. What is your business model? What is your competition? and what are the budget that you are requesting. So coming to the first component, title, I won't go in very detail. Actually, your big partner will help you curate your proposal, but I'll just, briefly tell you what we look for when we assess the proposals. Your title should be very brief and self-explanatory. It should be crisp. Please do not use words that may show that your proposal is very exploratory. It's not a proposal that has any market potential. So avoid using identifying, exploring, screening. I'll give you one example. You can write your proposal like this. POC for wearable, cost effective up to rupees 7,000 and low skill requiring device which can provide so and so and so and so. It's actually too long. Or you can, modify this and write it like wearable device for real-time monitoring for, like that. So please curate your title very carefully. Then your problem statement. So please remember you have answered the 5 W's and 1 H. Please see, have you, talked to the customers or not? Because they won't tell you actually what the problem is. You'll have to analyze their needs and you'll have to identify the need first, okay? And take the feedback. Confirm that actually there exists a need or not. Huh? So these are the 5 W's and 1 H. When does the problem occur? Who has the problem most often? What is the root cause of the this problem? What is the measurable impact? What do customers do now to fix the problem? And what are your, what are your proposed solution here? And how does the customer feel about it? Okay. Do not use too much of known facts in your proposal. Highlight on the technical novelty of your proposal. Highlight the differentiation, any value proposition that you're proposing in this proposal. Are you offering a better solution? Are you providing an input substitute, or your proposal is going to be cost effective, ease of reach, ease of use, whatever, value proposition that you are proposing, please highlight that. Also map out your competition, future as well as current, and we totally understand that. Do not use such language that we are the only one in this whole world that will provide you this and that. Okay. uh, Clearly map out your competition and figure out what your advantages are over already existing solutions. Mention what can be protected through IPR. Have you done any prior art search or not? Have you done FTO analysis? Please ensure that you are not infringing anyone else's patents. And then the relevance of the team. Do you have the expertise? If not, are you proposing to hire? Because BIG also provide you funding support to hire manpower. So are you going to hire the required expertise? Do the team members that you have proposed are complementing your skills or not? Do you have technical or business advisors? How will the team members help you in this project? And also, please take consent from mentors and advisors that you are naming them in the proposal. Then the business model. Though the BIG is for very early stage, early stage startups and entrepreneurs, but having a clarity on the business model is also a very key component when we assess the proposals. Have you identified your key partners for the future? Are you aware of the cost structure of your product? Have you gone through what would be the BOMs and what will be your selling price? What business model you will be going ahead with? Would it be B2B, B2C, B2G? What would be your revenue stream? Okay, have clarity and make a roadmap accordingly. As I mentioned that please map out your competitive landscape. You can use a table for already existing products and your product. And then you can tick and mark what is your competitive advantage over already existing solutions. And I think everyone knows that your objective and milestone should be smart, but ensure that they are the detailed one. You should have clarity on what scheme you are applying for, and break up your objective into quantifiable milestones, measurable milestones. Also, please see whether or not whatever you're proposing, your objective and milestone, can you achieve that in the given time frame? As BIG provides support for 18 months, and we generally do not encourage any kind of extension. So please ensure if these are doable in the given time and budget as well. While drafting your budget, please carefully plan for budget, justify for each and every item. If you have received funding from other source, it doesn't, give you any negative marking, but please clarify whether that funding that you already have received is for what kind of, objective. There should be no overlapping of objective and milestones for two funding sources. If uh, yes, please submit the budget as per the scheme guidelines. Also, while drafting your proposal, please carefully understand the involvement of risk factors or regulations, and factor in while drafting your proposal. If you require any ethical approval, so ensure that time taken for approval is also factored in your proposal. If you receive any certification or regulatory clearance before you start your project, so factor in all those risk factors and regulations while drafting your proposal. So these were the key components of a proposal. So as Winston Churchill said once, that success is the ability to go from one failure to another without losing your enthusiasm. So in case your proposal doesn't go through BIG, take the feedback positively. A rejected proposal doesn't always mean that the idea was rejected. Ensure that you have included the response to reviewers' comments. All your W's and H are answered in your proposal. Rewrite, revisit, and resubmit. Do not give up. And one last thing, please do not wait for the last moment. I know that it's still around 28, 29 days are left for BIG call to close, but please do not wait for the last moment. Start drafting your proposal right away. Sorry. Uh, what happens here? Is my screen visible? Somehow
Yes, your screen is visible.
okay, but it somehow got removed from this slide sharing mode. So whenever you tell yourself, I don't understand this or I don't know how to do this, simply add one word, yet. And I just wish you all the best for your BIG grant writing. I hope I did the justice. So I'll open the forum for the questions or any query that you have related to BIG. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Taranjeet, for your very lucid but yet very concise presentation on BIG. And I'm sure the applicants would have got a lot of critical inputs on the application process. So we will now also request Professor Bandyopadhyay to share his strategies on writing a winning proposal, and also how SIC has been mentoring the applicants through the application process and also during the grant process. So over to you, Professor Bandyopadhyay. And then later on, the applicants can raise their hands, and we will be allowing them to directly interact with the speakers.
Okay. Thank you, Shreya. Uh, Taranjit covered everything so well that I have nothing else to say almost. Taranjit, very good presentation. Thank you so much. It was very, very informative.
Thank you.
So, I will highlight only a few things from what Taranjit already stated, but I will highlight it from the perspective of someone who sits in many of these committees where funding is decided. Not in BIDAC for obvious reasons, there is conflict of interest, but in other funding agencies. So now, what Taranjit said is that if the product has no commercial scope, that will not be looked at. So you see that while in the matrix of numbering, it is only 15 points, but if commercial potential is zero, then you are not losing just 15 points. You are losing the whole damn thing. Because you need to understand that you have an objective for writing for the grant, that you want the money to do your work. But BIRAC is also duty bound to its objective for this particular scheme. As Taranjit mentioned, that this scheme is for tier level 1, 2. Okay. Now, and it is explicitly for developing product for the purpose of commercialization. If that commercialization part has lot of ifs and buts, your project will not succeed. Like, let me put it plainly. And what happens is that even the experts who will be evaluating your proposals, they have been doing this for last 14 15 cycles. So we are also learning. Okay, we also learn a whole lot of things. Okay, what are the pain points for this kind of a product? We also now know more than we knew in 2018. So therefore, in my book, you first start with identification of customers. If you cannot convince your friends that there is a set of customers, please look for another idea. Okay. Now, what happens is that most of us, myself included, we are too much in love with our technology, with our knowledge, with our skill. So we tend to believe that, if I am doing this, this must be very important and this must have demand. That is not necessarily the case. Okay. So therefore, and the other problem is that if there is any haziness about the customer or the commercial potential, then what happens is that the whole scheme falls flat, because even if you get the BIG money and develop the product, you will not get the subsequent funding to actually take it to the market. Therefore, the BIG investment will be wasted. So please, first input is convince yourself and your friends that there is a clear path to market. And I would request that the bio team of SIIC specifically looks for that aspect, even on one-on-one discussions before you have started typing your proposal. Because otherwise, it is a lot of work to submit a successful BIG grant, okay, and also emotion and everything. So that is the first input. The second, I was looking at some of the questions in the chat box, that as Taranjit mentioned, that BIDAC has a series of programs for different stages of the product development. Again, we need to align with the objective of the funding agency and the scheme. This particular scheme is for proof of concept development, prototype development. You cannot ask for money for clinical trial or clinical validation for this. Taranjit can correct me if I am wrong, that the product does not necessarily have to be a biotechnology product, but say you are making a product that every biology laboratory in the country will use, I think it will fall within the scope of BIG because there is potential and you are working for the biotechnology community in the country. So I don't think there is any conflict there. I saw that question. Now I need to tell you that Taranjit mentioned that the acceptance rate is 10%, a little below 10%. And the tiers of evaluation that it goes through, in the very first tier, it is sent to like 5 reviewers for a preliminary round of review. And Taranjit, if you have the data, like how much it is cut down, I do not have the data readily. I think some 30-40% applications are cut down at that stage. Now see that this stage, the reviewers are looking at 30-40 grant applications in a rather short period of time. So you have to attract their attention. You cannot write a very drab abstract and expect that the reviewer will read it and will figure out the importance of it. If you know why it is important, please highlight it. I will tell you that this is a very Indian problem. I myself suffer from it, that we tend to write the abstract last with some 20 minutes left. That way, you will definitely end up writing a very bad abstract. I would say that you start writing the abstract now. That is the most difficult part in a proposal because that 200 word will actually make or break whether your proposal will be looked at with some curiosity. If the reviewer is not curious about your proposal, chances are very low that it will go through in the first round. So please start writing your abstract now, rewrite it 10 times before you are satisfied. I am saying this because this is the same thing that happens even for our scientific communications. When we write publications, the abstract of the article and the cover letter become 2 of the most critical things. That's where you grab the attention because nobody has time to read the whole details before he or she figures out it is a useless the thing or a very useful thing. So that 5 minutes reading material is where you have to score. Okay. So please pay attention to the abstract. Now I will come to the other component is that this has been my experience. I can give you quite a few examples, but I will start with one that when we are talking about commercialization, sometimes what happens is we misalign the product and the customer. It has, as some Taranjit said, it has nothing to do with your idea. The technology is still the same. I will give you a concrete example and 2 concrete examples. So long time back, a startup within SIIC ecosystem decided that they will develop a technology that can detect adulteration in milk. Okay. Now they developed the technology, but they developed it for the cooperative societies that packages the milk and sells it. Like they act as aggregator, they buy it from the farmers and then they packages it and sells it. And as was expected, the product did not actually do well in the market. The reason is simple, that this customer, one, the customer base is smaller, and they are not heavily vested in that product, because cooperative societies, like it will be good if they get to know if the starting material is non-adulterated, but much more stake is at the individual buyer's end, like your mother, my mother. They are much more worried about the milk that people in the family will get. So if you can develop the same technology, but for, like an end user, then the commercial potential goes up significantly. Uh, this, I'll give you like another example. Like, as I said, that with time, we also learn. So whether it is BIRAC competition or any competition in the biotechnology domain, you will see that, I think Taranjit showed the pie chart. 53% are basically biomedical devices, mostly diagnostics. Now, when you think of the diagnostics, who is your customer? Who will buy it? Will the Lal Path Lab and likes buy it? Because it is unlikely as of today, because they already have set up in different towns and cities. They have no reason to buy these point of care diagnostic devices. But the where Lal Path Labs and the likes do not exist at the smaller towns and villages, uh, and this kind of path labs, they do not have any utility of creating a structure there, because that's an investment and the footfall will not be very high, so they will not be able to recover their investment. The villagers, they are in no position to buy because they don't have money. So your customer is basically the government. Now, if the government is your most likely customer, you should be worried because selling anything to the government, despite all the effort, has not been very easy. Okay. So can you now imagine the same product in slightly different manner, so that your end customer is not the government, but the individuals? So these are questions that you need to ask. Do not be completely sold to your idea कि एक बार सोच लिया तो सोच लिया, ऐसा नहीं है. If you have an idea of a technology, look at it from multiple vantage points, discuss with others. There is a strange feeling in India. I have seen it with many young people. They think that if they discuss their technology with others, they will steal it. Nobody will steal your technology, trust me. And if your technology is so easy to be stolen, then there is no business to begin with. Okay, because the moment you start selling your product, the next day, बगल वाले मुन्ना, पड़ोस वाले मुन्नी सब बना के बेचेंगे. So do not think about it that way at all. Discuss. The more you discuss with people, you will understand the pitfalls of your whole scheme, and you will be able to improve upon it. Like even the SIIC team, the bio team, they will help you. But like they also have their limitations with each of the startups. Typically, it will be 1 to 1.5 hour session. Right now, in this webinar itself, 184 attendees are there. If many of them submit applications, then you can imagine that they will not be able to do a good job. We do refer you to our mentors. We have very high quality mentors and they are very generous. They actually give time to you. They will sit with you. But like they are also they have their own limitations. So do not just depend on SIIC team members and mentors. Talk to people at large and figure out. And once you have figured out that who needs the product, then you start working backwards from there to identify the right technology that will serve the problem statement. Okay. It does not mean that the whole technology changes. It only means that the technology interface changes. Okay. So that's something important, I think, that you should keep in mind. And that there will be nuances based on whether you are going for healthcare or agriculture or industrial biotechnology. And we can discuss all of those things on a case by case basis. I will try to make myself available, though I am traveling heavily, but I will try my best. For agriculture, for medical devices, another thing that you need to keep in mind, any of you who are planning in that direction, uh, talk to Arijit and Arpit, okay? Because I am disseminating a lot of information to them. If you have not thought through the regulatory aspect, which for most of you, it might be difficult to have already thought through the regulatory aspect. But if you have not, then the committee members will certainly pick it up. So, like I'll give you a simple example. One product from IIT Kanpur was developed. I was super excited. As I said, that we are also learning. The point of care diagnostic for cervical cancer. One expert asked only one question. Listen to me very carefully. How will you sterilize the product? That's it. The whole business went out of the window. Because if between every two patients you have to throw away the equipment and get a new one, then there is no business. So when you are thinking of medical device, think of it from the regulatory perspective. You may not be very knowledgeable. I would not blame you. I also am still learning. But Arijit and Arpit are quite knowledgeable. Talk to them. And if necessary, we will be happy to arrange a regulatory lecture for you one day, just so that you ensure that the product you are talking about and the way you are thinking of developing the product does not have obvious regulatory hurdle. When it is agriculture, the most sensitive aspect in this country, from the farmers to the policymakers to the politicians, everybody is worried about any agricultural intervention. So be careful that whether you are going to get into legal or regulatory issues from the very beginning, like a very good company that I am mentoring at SIIC. The company was doing fantastic business, but I went after him and made his life extremely difficult till he started getting certificates from different government agencies that his product is safe. Because if your business fails, nobody cares. If you are successful, oh, three idiots wala hai. Everybody will try to see how to hurt your business, and that's when regulatory is the most easy bogey to be raised. Therefore, whether it is agriculture or healthcare, so be aware. So these are some of the aspects, and then along the way we can also discuss. But Taranjit's presentation is really the crux, and some of the experience I shared. Try to integrate it, and you will have a very good proposal. And all the best to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Bandyopadhyay, for sharing your inputs based on your years of experience of mentoring the various grantees. Now we have the floor open for questions from our applicants. So we have received few questions on the chat box, and also some of the applicants have raised their hands. So first is Sandeep Bhatia. Rishabh, can you please unmute the applicant so they can ask the question themselves, and we'll keep the discussion very brief. All right. Yeah,
Hi,
Sandeep.
I'm Sandeep Bhatia here.
yeah.
Thank you so much for this wonderful session. Uh, I wanted to understand that for diagnostic devices, while a lot of people are making diagnostic devices, some components are being sourced from various sources. What happens is that there seems to be really no much effort on the cost of the tests, cost per test. Okay, while we are doing developing various devices. Now if we wish to do something about making these strips in India, you think that kind of a proposal would fall under the big category? There is definite commercial potential is definitely there.
See, like if it is for biotechnology purpose, then it will fall. But if cost reduction is the only USP, then you know that there will be someone else who will be reducing the cost little bit more. So you have to look beyond cost reduction. If you are making an MRI machine and you can sell it for 50 lakh rupees, sure, go ahead. But if it is a test strip and currently it costs 10 rupees and you will be selling it for 3 rupees, that may or may not be successful, because you also have to look at the business end, that how much you will be able to give to the distributor. You will not be selling it yourself. Okay, it will be sold through the distributor. Like if you go to any supermarket, you will see an interesting thing, that the shampoo, there are certain brands that are at your eye level and certain brands that are at your foot level. So you know that the brands that are at your eye level, they are giving much higher cut to the chain. Okay, so be aware of that.
But yeah, the reality is that there is a very vast difference between what it will cost versus what it is sold in the market for.
So, if you can convince, first try to convince your friends. If you can convince people that yes, there is a massive cost advantage, and because of which you will succeed, then I don't see any reason why it should not succeed in the competition.
Okay, thank you,
So,
Sandeep.
yeah. Also, Sandeep, if you are, kind of substituting the import,
Yes,
components are being already, imported, and you are going to replace that and kind of, make in India initiative. So that might bring the cost of your diagnostic kit very low, and you can, yes, definitely apply for BIG.
sure. Thank you. And if I were to already have an investor on board who is willing to invest in the medium and the long term, will that be a plus here?
Yes, yes, definitely.
All right, thank you, Sandeep. So may we now have Shahid Haider Ansari to ask his question. Shahid, you may unmute yourself and
But
please ask your question.
But Shreya, I will need to run. There is a year-end batch photograph, and they want the head of the department to be there. I'm sorry, but things are a little bit out of my control. But I can make myself available for another time if they have questions, like they have digested all this and come back for another round for question answer primarily. I'll happily make myself available. Taranjit, may I please have your permission? I really
Yes.
need to go.
No
Okay.
worries, sir. Please, 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 please.
And see if please try to respond to some of their queries.
I will
The rest
definitely.
I will collect and I will do
Sure.
address. Okay. Thank you. Thank you
Okay.
all. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
I was also answering some of the questions that were asked on this question and answer forum. But yes, we can take.
Yeah, we can take few questions. So, whom do we have next? Miss Bela, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
Ma'am, namaste. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Ma'am, from Bairak, madam who's presenting, namaskar to her. Namaskar to Bandyopadhyay sir. Sorry, he's just gone. I wanted to say a few things to him. Ma'am, like cooperative, as sir spoke about cooperative and the instrument he have developed for judging the quality of the milk. Ma'am, like that, like cooperative, FPOs have also come into the picture, and right now there are around 30,000 FPOs who are working in Pan India, and roughly every FPOs have 750 to 1,000 farmers with them. The technology like this will certainly give us a great help as we are farmers and we are working on ground and we face these challenges on a daily basis. So we would be very glad if we have a technology like this. My startup doesn't work on that technology, but it would be a great help if we can take this technology down. As we are the milk producer ourselves. Every house has had two cattle, three cattle. We milk the cow and we sell it to the local bazaar, and we do not get a right price for that. As the instrument which they carry, it tells something which we are not aware of. They talk about CNF and all that, but we are not aware of. With this technology, what Bandyopadhyay sir have spoke about, it would be a great handy tool for our startup also, so that while we are working with the farmers, we can also give them this kind of a technology also, majorly to the FPOs and cooperatives who are working in every district of our country. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I think Shreya, please connect him with Dr. Bandyopadhyay and provide any kind of help that we can.
sure. May we have the next participant who would like to ask the questions, Dr. Anu Sharma. Rishabh, yeah.
Hello.
Yes, Dr. Anu, we can hear you. Please
Yeah,
go ahead.
okay. Hello, ma'am. This is Dr. Anu Sharma, and my startup name is Green Power Biotech Private Limited. We are just 10-month-old startup. Actually, we are working in the agriculture sector, and I want to apply for the big grant, but I have two, three questions regarding. I have worked as a young scientist in CSIR laboratory, and we developed some biopesticide formulation, phytochemical based, which is unique formulation. So we filed two patents from the CSIR, and I was the inventor. So how I can apply, like I can take this lead to my startup to develop the product as a market fit. I want to do that. So how can I apply with these leads? Because I am the definitely inventor, but the technology is with the CSIR laboratory. So how to go with this project for the BIREC? One question is that, and this is up to the TRL 5 level. It is the product, the technology is now it's up to TRL 5 level. And second question is that we from our startup also our proof of concept is developed for new formulation as a herbicide, and we want to file the patent also, and we want to take that lead also from our startup. And third is also we are developing the proof of concept for microgreen freeze dried products. So which kind of product or which kind of project we should apply from our startup to the big grant so we can get the grant?
Okay. So, Dr. Anu, I won't get into the technicalities, like which proposal is better, but administrative point of view, I can tell you that the project that you were mentioning, that it's already a TRL 5 level.
Okay.
Please, once again, check the TRL levels, not as per your understanding. Go just see the definitions for TRLs that are given on our website. Where do you fall? If you actually fall at TRL 5 level, then BIG is not the right scheme for you. Okay.
Okay.
Your project will be made ineligible at the first stage itself.
Okay.
But you can apply to other schemes of BIREC like SBIR. The call is currently on.
Okay.
You can write to me or to Shreya. Shreya can connect you to me, and I'll connect you the concerned officer for SBIR. And that the technology transfer you were mentioning, that the technology belongs to CSIR, I'm sure there would be provisions that you can take the technology forward. There can be, some agreements that can be signed between you and CSIR.
Okay.
Our big partner can help you with that as well. Okay.
Okay.
And third, you mentioned for the proof of concept development for your, I think, one of the project, you can apply for that in BIG because yes, BIG supports till proof of concept stage, not beyond that. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Can we have the next participant? Somnath Das Gupta.
Yeah, we'll have to wrap the question and answer by maybe 10-15 minutes. Okay.
Sure, we'll wrap
Our
it by
meeting is 12:30. Yeah,
We'll wrap it by 12:30.
that should be okay. I'll
Sure.
just
So
yeah.
everyone, please keep your questions very brief. And if there are some of things that we are not able to answer over here, you can contact us directly over email or call. We'll just type our email ID and phone number in the chat box. So
My
do we?
email ID as well. Okay. I
Sure.
cannot see
I
everyone's option here. Yes, please.
I have a follow-on question that does the proximity to the big partner matter, physical proximity, because we are based in Mumbai, and do we necessarily have to go through Sign or a venture center?
No, there is no such mandatory condition for any applicant to choose any big partner or any incubation center. Okay. You can choose IIT Kanpur as your big partner and Sign as your incubation center. Okay. You can choose Sign as your big partner or IIT Kanpur, whatever your priorities are. All right.
Okay.
Different as well. Big partner and incubation centers, they can be different too.
And you had mentioned that there will be a face-to-face presentation that will happen. Now,
that will happen at around TEP stage. Okay.
yeah, so that happens at the big partner's place, or it will be at the big partner which is close to us?
So, no, it doesn't happen like that. I told you that all the applications, all the proposals are thematically clubbed together.
Oh.
And presentations are done accordingly. So one big partner hosts one TEP. So, and that's done on rotation basis. You never know this for this
It could
call.
be KP, VC Camp, any of them. Okay.
Any of them, exactly.
Okay, but it happens physically.
Yes, it happens physically.
Okay.
Actually, when the COVID hit the country, so we started with this online thing. So we are wanting to come back to physical presentation. So yes.
Team, can we have other applicants inside the meeting so that they can ask their questions?
Actually, ma'am, I was in the midst of asking a question. Can I complete my question? I'm Somnath Dasgupta.
Sure.
Yeah. So we have been working with drone platforms for vector control disease. So now, since the last 1 year, we are working on hyperspectral technology, where we are trying to identify at the larval stage. So will this particular domain qualify for the big proposal?
Yes, even if the application is in the biotech domain, you can apply to BIG. But please discuss your proposal in detail. I'm not asking you to share your confidential things if you are worried about that, but discuss your proposal with your big partners, any big partner again, okay? They can actually guide you whether your proposal will fall into the biotech domain or not, okay?
So will vector-borne disease qualify under
Yes.
biotech domain?
Yes. So, if as a broader term, I would say yes, it does. It's definitely falls into biotechnology domain. It falls eligible for BIG. But please talk
Okay.
about your proposal or technology that you are going to develop, so they can see.
Can we have the next applicant in Sanjay Dhar from Manodayam?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Sanjay ji, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, this question was to the ma'am. Actually, while you said that the budget asked is obviously divided into several buckets, be it on the largely on the product, sales and marketing, obviously on other buckets. I just wanted to know because if the expense size is big enough, then the BIG grant itself. So you might have to, the earlier fund, I might, you may need 1 crore and suppose I'm getting 50 lakhs. I may map it against the same bucket. So what's your take on that? I just wanted to share that.
So if you're obviously this 50 lakh is not gonna help you to take your idea to market, that's for sure. So yes, either you'll have to pull in your money, or you can you can bring investor in, or you can, so that's not a negative part for us. We totally understand that 50 lakhs are not going to be enough for you. Okay? And the budgeted, the different budget heads that we are, we have for BIJ, it's available on the website as well. You can check our guidelines. It's already mentioned in like what is the maximum capping for equipment budget, for consumables, for manpower. Okay. So the caps are given over there. You can go through them.
Can we have the next participant? Another participant, I think this participant has already asked a question. May we have Pratik Raghuvanshi? Please ask your question, Pratik.
Hello, thank you everyone. Thank you organizing team for unmuting me. I had just one question that I'm from Sham Innovations Private Limited. We are a student-founded startup. Currently, I'm in my final year, 8th semester. In a month, I will be graduating. So, in the application, what should I mention? A student or a full-time founder? And we have incorporated this company in the March month of year 2023. So it's been more than 13 months we are since our incorporation.
So your company is absolutely eligible for BIG, and as you're graduating in maybe 4 months, so yes, you'll be considered eligible, Pratik.
Okay, ma'am. And there is another thing that since the incorporation, there has been a change in directors for one time. So will it cause any issue in that?
No, just be very transparent when you're sharing your shareholders or directors, okay? So it won't, the directors, there should not be any defaulter or any, as per our direct list. I mean, those who had availed funding in the past, like for bigger grants, SBIR, BIPP, might be they have taken loan and they did not, give it back. So those directors should not fall in that list. That's all, nothing else.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
So if a BTech student wishes to apply, he or she should have completed the degree at the time of applying or at the time of receipt of the grant.
At the time of receipt of the grant.
Okay, thank you. Can we have the next applicant? Yes, Dr. Ravi Krishnan, please let us know what's your question.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, my project is coming under sustainable project, converting plastic waste into building blocks. It's a proven technology. So is it comes under your this thing project?
Say it again, I'm sorry, Ravi Krishnan. I was not able to hear you.
Actually, our project is converting plastic waste into building blocks.
So if
It
you're
is for a sustainable project. Yeah, sustainability.
we also cover that area, but you'll have to see if that includes any biotech component or not. Okay, so discuss your proposal with your big partner, chosen big partner, maybe SIIT Kanpur. Okay. They'll broadly go through your proposal and let you know if this falls in the BIG or not. Okay.
So how you know this reply in the WhatsApp or mail?
You can email them or share. How do you generally communicate with your aspiring?
Yeah, we have just participants. We have just mentioned our email ID and phone number in the chat box. You can contact us and we'll get in touch with you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we have the next participant, Stills Web, Amit Srivastava?
Ma'am, I can't see his hand raised. Acha, still swipe. Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Hello, ma'am. We are actually in precision agriculture. So we are building a search engine where we are processing satellite-based images for identification of crops or even the cultivation stage. So I wanted to know that how we can put the proposal in a way that we can be eligible for this BIRAC.
We have supported projects in precision agriculture in the past.
Okay.
So there is no harm in applying to BIG. You can surely do that.
Okay, sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks, Amit. Can we have the next next participant, Anuj?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for that informative session. Actually, I just want to know that is it necessary to have the institutional affiliation? As I have just raised a question that I have passed my degree and right now I am looking to apply for this grant because I have some good idea in my mind. So
Institutional affiliation as such is not required, but as you are applying as an individual, you must be incubated when you start your project. As of now, you can get any letter of intent from any incubation center and apply like that. Okay. But while pursuing the project, if get granted, you'll have to have an incubation center.
okay, so is there any specific gap that BIG grant is looking for? If there is any gap between the passing out and the applying for that this project?
I'm sorry, I didn't get your question.
Yeah, I have passed my degree in the 2019. So is it okay to go for
Yes,
that?
yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And thanks a lot for that session.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll take last three questions. So can we have Nazma Haq?
Ma'am, sorry, I couldn't get you. Whom I have to?
Rishabh, can we have Dr. Nazma Haq inside the panel discussion?
Yes, ma'am, she can now speak.
If there's an issue in bringing her in, maybe we can have Dr. Muthu Kumaran.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you can speak now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Good afternoon, ma'am. First of all, I want to thank IIT Kanpur because we are for the past 2 years we are in collaboration with IIT Kanpur, and we applied for BAG also for past 2 times, but we could not able to get through into it. This time also we are planning to apply. We are from Andaman Nicobar Island, from the very remote place. Madam, actually, recently I received one patent grant. Whether that product is eligible for applying through BIG? Suppose if we already got a patent.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. We got the product patent also, design patent also.
Product patent, sorry. So your product is ready, that means, or
No, madam. It is
designed or
in the
something.
very initial stage only, but with the concept we got the process patent. But we have to fine tune our product in a very good manner. So we are looking for a scheme through BIG. We are planning to develop that particular product.
Yes, then you can apply to.
Okay, ma'am. Then also you have mentioned, madam, in your slide, like from TRL 1 to 2 to TRL 3 to 4 only it is acceptable. So
Yes.
it means that we have to take our product from TRL 1 or 2 to TRL up at the end of BAG grant. It should be at the level TR 3 or 4. It means like that.
No,
No.
it doesn't mean like that. At initial stage only, I have mentioned that proposals that fall into this category, TRL 1 to 2 to TRL 3 to 4, they will be supported. And it
Okay.
could be TRL 9, if that is a
So
low-hanging
it means
fruit.
that
and
any TRL level 1, 2, 3, 4, if it is at 1, 2, 3, 4, we can take it.
Yes, you can apply to BIG.
Okay,
It's not for the ending.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Muthu. Now, last question from Om Prakash Sahu. Rishabh, can you please take him in?
You can now speak, ma'am.
हेलो
Yes, we can hear you.
मैम, अगर मैं स्टार्टअप इंडिया में अप्लाई करता हूँ और वही सेम आइडिया को मैं अप्लाई करता हूँ बीरैक में, और अगर मेरे को स्टार्टअप इंडिया से फंड मिल जाता है तो क्या बीरैक मेरे को फंड देगा? ये क्वेश्चन है मैम।
नहीं, एक ही चीज के लिए आप 2 जगह से फंड नहीं ले सकते ना ओम प्रकाश।
जी मैम,
अगर
मतलब
आपको
पहले अगर
किसी
किसी
मिल
किसी
जाता है
स्कीम में।
तो फिर आपको ये छोड़ना पड़ेगा, आपको ये मिल जाता है तो आपको वो छोड़ना पड़ेगा। एक ही चीज
जी
के लिए 2 जगह से सैलरी नहीं ले सकते, एक ही चीज के लिए 2 जगह से फंडिंग नहीं ले सकते। ठीक है
मैम मैम, और ये जैसे अगर मैं आज अप्लाई कर देता हूँ तो रिव्यू कितना टाइम में होगा, फिर फिजिकल प्रेजेंटेशन, इंक्यूबेशन और फाइनल फंड मेरे को कितना दिन में मिलेगा, और जो मिलेगा वो कितने माइलस्टोन में मिलेगा मैम पैसा, वो बता सकते
ये
हैं?
जितनी इंफॉर्मेशन आप पूछ रहे हैं वैसे तो ये हमारी गाइडलाइंस में दी हुई है, स्टेप वाइज दिया हुआ है। ठीक है,
जी
जनरली 3 से 4 महीना टोटल लग जाता है अभी तक हमारा इवैल्यूएशन पूरा होने में। हम काम कर रहे हैं इस पे कि और जल्दी कर सके। ठीक है, और फंड फाइनल मिलते मिलते 6 महीना तक लग जाता है, बिकॉज बहुत सारा ड्यू डिलीजेंस करना होता है पार्टनर को, है ना, बहुत सारी वेरिफिकेशंस करनी होती हैं। और जो ट्रांचेस हम देते हैं, जो पैसा देते हैं, वो जनरली 3 पार्ट्स में देते हैं, 15 लाख, 15 लाख एंड 15 लाख। जो लास्ट वाले 4 से 5 लाख है, जितने का भी बजट आप टोटल बनाते हैं, वो आप जब प्रोजेक्ट खत्म कर लेते हैं तो वो रीइंबर्समेंट बेसिस पे होता है। आप अपना फाइनल यूसी वगैरह भेजेंगे, फिर हम उसके बेसिस पे आपका लास्ट जो 2 या 3 लाख जितना भी बचता है, बट ट्रांचेस आपको 3 दी जाती है।
जी मैम, और बट ऐसा दिया जाता है कि बीरैक बिग ग्रांट में, हाँ बायरैक में 50 लाख का ग्रांट होता है ऐसा बोल के। तो मैम जैसे मैं अगर 50 लाख का अप्लाई कर देता हूँ तो क्या 50 लाख मिलेगा, या फिर कोई कमिटी होगा जो डिसाइड करता होगा कि इस स्टार्टअप को इतना देना चाहिए, ऐसा कुछ?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, पूरी डिसाइड होगा। आपने 50 मांगा तो हम आपको 50 नहीं देंगे। ठीक है, पूरा इवैल्यूएशन होगा, जस्टिफाई कर पाएंगे आप पूरा, और बिग पार्टनर के साथ आपकी मीटिंग्स होंगी बहुत सारी। ठीक है, वो आपको विजिट भी करेंगे आके, आपका बजट पूरा डिसाइड करेंगे। क्या पता ये 48 लाख हो जाए, 47 हो जाए, या पूरा 50 भी मिल जाए। वो एक मैक्सिमम लिमिट है 50 की, उसके ऊपर नहीं देंगे, उससे कम हो सकता है। क्या पता आपके प्रोजेक्ट में सिर्फ 20 लाख ही चाहिए हो, है ना।
जी
वो सब
जी
सेटिंग होता है, फिर उसके बाद डिसाइड होता है।
जी मैम, थैंक यू मैम।
Thank you, Prakash ji. Thank you. We will have to conclude the session now. Thank you so much, Taranji, for your time and patience and for patiently sharing all the queries of the participants. Thank you so much once again. We are really honored that you could take time off your busy schedule in this really busy time of the month and be with
Okay.
us for this session.
Thank you so much. I hope I could, do the justice to applicants and to IIT team. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, thank you. And also thank you to our wonderful participants. It was indeed a very good session. Thank you, everyone. All right. See you.
Thank
Bye.
you. See
Bye.
you soon. Bye. Bye.
So participants can contact us for any queries. So participants can contact us at bioincubator@gmail.com or 8353995330.